There we go. So start again. Hello. Oh, I love that new voice. What did we say?
What was that? Who's she? Who invited her?
Lucy was saying last night about this. I think we named her, not Yvonne. I can't remember.
Gatecrasher.
Yeah, the new voice from Zoom who says this meeting is being recorded. So anyway, so basically Hannah and I, we've jumped into one of my groups, but I've also recorded this and I'm going to probably pop it out on a couple of other channels as well, because Hannah and I have actually got the same online business. Now, if you're watching it in the Health and Happiness Hub, you'll already know that as it's a Tuesday, this is the day that I tend to come in, bring other guests, chat about, you know, network marketing, online businesses in general, having a side hustle, whatever you want to call it. And whether or not Arbonne is your thing, is your interest, it doesn't matter, because this really is giving you an example of how you can build a side hustle, which you know, with whichever model you choose. Personally, Hannah and I love Arbonne because we love the products. They actually work. The business plan, you know, the compensation plan is fair, all that kind of stuff. But you know, you can go to earnings.arbonne.com to look at all the nitty gritty. But the reason I brought Hannah in today, number one, we haven't spoken in bloody ages for a start. And number two, I just thought it'd be great to have a catch up in here just quick about the last 12 months and what's been going on. Do you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. So can I start, Hannah, by you sort of giving a little intro, because there's probably going to be people in here that haven't actually, you know, seen a live with you and me together before. So do you want to give a bit of background as to what you're all about, first of all?
So I'm Hannah. I live in Cornwall. I am married with 2 children. I joined Arbonne back in 2019, I want to say. Pretty sure it was 2000, like the very end of 2019. I hadn't heard of Arbonne when I started, didn't know what network marketing was, like didn't really have a clue that these type of businesses existed. Prior to like my kind of last paid job was in finance. It was like financial advice. So I'd been looking after other people's money and not really making any of my own. And I was introduced, yeah, I know. So yeah, I saw my mentor is Lucy, the same as Vix, and just saw her on her stories talking about these products. And I am a self-confessed product whore. Like Vix said, these things are amazing. They all work.
Let's be honest.
And I saw that Lucy was going for this goal, so I offered to help, and I was like, you know what, get me some stuff, I'll help you out. Started using them and I was like, these are incredible. What is this that you're doing? And then I saw her test driving a white Mercedes, which is kind of to do with the compensation plan. Like Vic said, it's all on earnings.arbonne.com. So I was like, Lucy, you've got to tell me what's going on here. Can I do this too? At the time, I was actually based at home as a full-time carer for my son, who was going through some quite heavy chemotherapy treatment. So I was kind of just not really doing anything and not looking for anything. And then I realised that actually there was still something that I could be doing whilst also being at home, present with my children where I was needed. And yeah, it's just, you know, been a wild ride. And I've met some amazing people. I was really isolated at the time, didn't really have a big social circle, and you know, got more friends than I think I've ever had now.
It's lovely, isn't it? That's so perfect, actually, because that was going to be my next question to you. Was obviously the first, because we kind of got a similar timeline with the business. You started about 6 months earlier than me, I think.
Yeah, I think
so. Something like that, but sort of roughly kind of the same thing. And obviously when I started my business, I wanted to get out there. I'm, like you say, product junkie as well, so I enjoyed the parties and all that kind of stuff. And you know, obviously when everything happened last March, when we all couldn't go out anymore for what seemed like forever, everything changed. So did you find it was quite an easy transition for you, going from that sort of meeting people?
For me, that was normal life for me. So when my youngest was going through his chemotherapy treatment, we were pretty much in lockdown for 4 years. We couldn't go to busy places, we couldn't go on holiday, we couldn't go and eat in a restaurant, we couldn't have lots of people in our house. So we'd kind of lived that life anyway. So for me, it was business as usual, because I had chosen to build my Arbonne business online. I didn't do a lot of events. I know that Vix was like the events queen, but that's the beauty of what we do is that it's so flexible. If you just want to build it through social media, you can, or if you want to get out there and host events, you can. So for me, it wasn't a big change, but so many people that, you know, were in my team weren't used to that sort of lifestyle. So it was yeah, for me, not a difficult transition, but it was difficult for me to see everyone kind of going through it, because I'd already lived that life.
You were in isolation and lockdown practically for the year beforehand anyway, weren't you? So,
well, like 4 years before.
4 years beforehand, yeah, exactly. So as far as what you touched on just then about sort of having more friends, did you, when you got into this business, like what was the what would you say were the top reason or top few reasons that you wanted to do it?
To be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of expectations. Obviously, I spoke to Lucy about what the possibilities were, how money is earned through Arbon. It was really important for me that it wasn't going to cost me anything each month. But like I said, I'd never heard of network marketing before, so I didn't have a lot of expectations, and I'm not the sort of person that thinks too much before I do things. I'm a like, go for it girl. So I was quite happy to have a go, and I trusted Lucy, so I knew that it wasn't going to be anything mental. But I just wanted to earn a little bit of my own money. Obviously, I hadn't worked for 4 years, so it had been really hard for me coming from quite a big successful career to having to be like a kept woman. Not that it was my choice, you know. And I didn't realise how lonely I was. So, you know, I was at home with the kids all day, but that's, you know, no life. And when you can't have people around,
dogs as well, just deciding to dig on the bed over there. Honestly, they've got such an amazing life.
So yeah, I think that was the thing that came as the biggest surprise, and the best surprise was the amount of people that I got to interact with every day, and you know, the support and the love that's just poured into you by everyone is, you will never find anything like it. Having worked the 9 to 5 life, having worked in catering, having worked in hospitality, there is no other thing like it.
And I think the thing that I really love about network marketing as a whole, and especially with Arbon, because obviously we get so much extra than a lot of other companies out there with what we do, like the support and the community and everything, which is kind of right up our street, is I think what I love about it is it's like, if you imagine someone goes to college, for example, and they decide they want to do a uni and they want to do a degree for X amount of years, you're kind of like, you're on that kind of like journey for a few years of commitment anyway, aren't you? And you kind of think at the end of it, you may or may not get a job. You're definitely going to probably be in debt. You know, what I love about what we do is we can say, do you know what? I'm going to do this for 4 or 5 years, because let's be honest, what else could I do with 4 or 5 years? Even at my age, when I started at 40, 45 and a bit, you know, I was like, well, you know, I can do this till I'm 50, see what happens. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of it, not only am I going to have built an incredible business, which I'm already halfway through doing, but also I'm earning as I go. And it's the only thing I've ever known that pays you while you're learning what you're doing. And in fact, even if you jump into this like Hannah and I did, know nothing about what you're doing, because you've got mentors helping you, they will guide you through it, hold your hand, help build your business for you and with you, showing you what to do, and you get to earn extra money while you're doing that. And I think the thing that always stands out to me is every one of the people in here that you know, that have been around for a while in Arbon, that we know through Lucy and via other people that, you know, in the wider network that we're in, is that everyone who really genuinely wants to help people seems to go quite far in this business. I think we all get into it probably initially because we want to make some extra money. Of course we do. That's absolutely fine. But I think that the people that genuinely want to help other people seem to do really well. And I think you've naturally got that. Obviously, you know, you've got that kind of spark in you. You just want to help people.
What I love as well is, you know, obviously we've got people that are higher up than us in the business, but they all started in the same place. So everyone started on day one on zero. So they've been that they've worked through it before. So the people teaching you are genuinely teaching you from a place of knowledge, you know, whereas if you're in a corporate job, or, you know, even if you work in a supermarket, you might have been at the same position for 7 years, and then someone brand new is just brought in and promoted straight above you, just because maybe they're a bit younger or they've got bigger boobs. Do you know what I mean?
They're older. Exactly. Whatever. That's the thing, isn't it?
Could just be that
getting paid like for what you are doing. It's results driven at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think what's been so amazing. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I think what's been so amazing about the last few months with Argon and all the changes we've had is that now it's even slicker and even more simple. You know, I've got girls in my team that are in this group that, you know, they don't really want to be actively working the business, which is absolutely fine. You know, you can have an account, like Hannah has said, you can have an account, have your wholesale discount. You don't have to pay anything out every month to be part of it. But if somebody asks you, oh, what you're using, you can literally just click a few buttons and send them a cart recommendation. Then if they order, it's tied to your account and you make a commission the next week. I mean, it couldn't be easier the way they've done it. And I think that's really nice, because there are some people, you know, that's what's so great about Argon. It doesn't matter whether you want to work it for, you know, 20 minutes a day, an hour a day, 5 hours a day, whatever you want to do, there's always an option. There's always scope there for you to do that. So what I wanted to just kind of like finish with asking you then, Hannah, was obviously, you know, we talked about the last year and how things have been very, very strange and different. What would you think has been like one of the biggest things you've learned from the last year? One of the biggest things that's come out of it for you?
Well, I think not just for me personally is that we literally never know what's going to happen. We can only control so much of what's going on in our lives. Prepare for impact.
Yeah, that's,
you know, we'd already kind of had that with James's diagnosis, that we, you know, it came from nowhere. We weren't expecting it. We had to change our life at the drop of a hat. And it was the same for a lot of people last year. I mean, you know, you could be a hairdresser. What happens if you break your arm tomorrow? What are you going to do? You've got to have a plan B. Like, you've got to have some sort of backup going on, because we don't know when this situation is, if this situation is ever going to end completely. Life is not ever going to be what we knew it was. What you do might not be around much longer. And if, you know, I just genuinely think that the bricks and mortar business, for some businesses, it's never going to come back. And having this complete virtual business that we have, where we don't have to have physical contact with anybody but maybe a DVD driver every now and again, like, it couldn't be more for now.
Yeah, definitely.
If they tried. We were already set up like this. So it is next year, and we're only getting bigger. We're only, you know, innovating even more, even with sustainability. You know, we don't know that's going. We don't know what's going to happen with the planet in years to come. So I just think you've got to absolutely grab every opportunity by the horns, prepare for impact, and just make sure that you've got something kind of ready to go if it all goes tits again.
Such smart advice. I mean, I did a post the other day, I think, about a similar thing, saying that, you know, like, having a couple of different businesses. I've now got 4, and I did have 5 until last year, but the fitness business tanked because obviously of what happened, and it just wasn't sustainable. So, you know, to have your fingers in a few pies is sensible. It's the smart thing to do right now. Even if you don't want to call yourself an entrepreneur, even if you don't feel comfortable with having your own business, that's the joy of what we do, is you're never on your own.
It's not really.
It's not like you're I was listening to an audio the other day, actually, and this guy was talking about how it's quite funny in network marketing. We pay 30 quid in Argon to start a business. Sometimes there's offers it's for free. And often what will happen is people will start a business, and it's just, you know, maybe starting an actual business is just too much for them. You know, they just want to like have a wholesale account, and that's absolutely fine. But, you know, when you imagine when you start a business, like you start a restaurant, and you perhaps invest £300,000-400,000 and you're not even making a profit for maybe 5 years, you know, imagine that sort of pressure. And then there's us, and we're like, oh, pay 30 quid, buy some products, share a few, you know, if it doesn't work, what's the worst that can happen?
You could make that 30 quid back in the first 5 minutes if your mum bought some shampoo. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that simple. We're using the products anyway. The majority of us are using social media. If you're not, you know, you can get back out there face to face again, but we're doing these things anyway. It's just bringing them all into one bucket and being able to give ourselves the opportunity to earn some money from it, a little bit or a lot, depending on how you want to do it.
That's it. Whilst helping the planet, whilst working towards sustainability and being plastic free, whilst helping your friends potentially to get better skin. By the way, I'm 47, drop that in again. I just can't help putting that in there. I'm just so happy with my skin right now. And I'm
not surprised.
I haven't got it on me, but that Derma Results thing that's just come out.
So good.
I can't believe, like, every morning I wake up and I'm so excited to put it on, and my skin is just so.
You know where that's come from, don't you? Like, they've actually found the fountain of youth there, and they've put it in a bottle with a dropper. I mean,
that's crazy.
They actually haven't. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, Can we put a disclaimer under that, please?
Yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna leave you guys to it now. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Hannah, for joining me.
So
Thank you
welcome.
so much. I love chatting with you. You just, I don't know what it is. It's just like one of those people that I wish we lived closer for a start, because I
know.
always going to Costa with you. You just never get rid of me.
Oh, I love a Costa.
I know, same here. So thanks for watching, guys. We will catch up with you soon. And as ever, any questions, just feel free to give either of us a shout, and go to earnings.arbon.com if you want to find out the full annual typical earnings for Arbon independent consultants. So thanks for everything, guys. See you soon.